being part of the world's most important theater of democracy, Council of States, the upper house, the House of Elders. Copy of the President's address to be laid on the table, Secretary General.
Sir, with your kind permission, I rise to lay on the table a copy in English and Hindi of the President's address to both the Houses of Parliament assembled together on the 31st January 2024.
First we have grown electronic, number one. Number two, Khadgeji knows better than anyone else here. When papers are laid on the table of the House, there's a mechanism for distribution, you know it, sir. I have been a very junior Minister of Parliamentary Affairs long back, but not a point to be raised at your level, sir. Birthday greetings. Honorable members, I am pleased to extend birthday greetings to honorable members of Parliament, Shri Sadanand Seth Tanawde and Shri Saket Gokhale on their birthdays today. Shri Sadanand Seth Tanawde, a grassroots leader from Goa, has been a member of this August House since July 2023. He is the current president of the BJP Goa State Unit and was a member of the Goa Legislative Assembly from 2002 to 2007. He is married to Srimati members, on your and my behalf, I wish them a long, healthy, and happy life and extend greetings to their family members. Refer with profound sorrow to the passing away of Shri Hari Shankar Bhabda and Srimati Susri Devi, former members of this House. Shri Hari Shankar Bhabda passed away on the 25th January 2024. He served as a member of this House, representing the state of Rajasthan from April 1978 to April 1984. Born on 6th August 1928 at Didwana in Kuchaman district of Rajasthan, Shri Bhabda, a freedom fighter and an advocate, was actively involved in imparting education to the women and deprived section of the society. He served as a member of the Rajasthan Legislative Assembly for 3 terms and had served as the Speaker of the Rajasthan Legislative Assembly for 2 terms. Shri Bhabda also served as the Deputy Chief Minister in the government of Rajasthan. I had the opportunity to serve as fellow member of the state legislature alongside him and benefited enormously from his insights of diverse matters. I had called on him at his residence at Jaipur a fortnight ago to inquire about his health. He will be remembered for exemplifying high standards in public life and dignifying the positions held by him, including that of a member of Parliament, Loksabha. In the passing away of Shri Hari Shankar Bhabda, the country has lost an able administrator and a distinguished parliamentarian who always stood for decorum and propriety. Srimati Susri Devi passed away on the 10th of January 2024. She served as a member of this August House, representing the state of Odisha from April 2002 to April 2008. Born on 10th October 1950 at Raipur in Chhattisgarh, Srimati Susri Devi was involved in farmers' welfare and educating women and took keen interest in conservation of ancient heritage and development of aquaculture. She also took keen interest in folk theatre in rural areas. She also served as a member of Odisha Legislative Assembly from 1990 to 1995. She has left behind 2 sons and 1 daughter. In the passing away of Srimati Susri Devi, the country has lost a passionate conservationist, a champion of rights of farmers, and an able parliamentarian. We deeply mourn the passing away of Sri Harishankar Bhabra and Srimati Susri Devi. I request members to rise in their places and observe silence as a mark of respect to the memory of the departed. Secretary General will convey to the members of the bereaved families our sense of profound sorrow and deep sympathy. Papers to be laid on the table, Secretary General.
Sir, with your kind permission, I rise to lay on the table a statement in English and Hindi showing the bills passed by the Houses of Parliament during the 262nd session of Rajya Sabha and assented to by the President.
Announcement by the Chair. Honorable members, the 76th report of the Committee of Privileges Rajya Sabha was presented to me yesterday on the 30th January 2024. The committee, while holding the 11 members, namely Srimati J.B. Mather Isam, Dr. L. Hanumantiya, Sri Neeraj Dangi, Sri Rajmani Patel, Sri Kumar Ketkar, Sri G.C. Chandrasekhar, Sri Binoy Vishwam, Sri Santosh Kumar P, Sri M. Mohammad Abdullah, Dr. John Betas, and Sri A. Rahim, guilty of breach of privilege and contempt of the Council, has recommended that the period of suspension already suffered by the members be treated as sufficient punishment for the transgression. The report was to be presented to the House. However, taking note of the situation that the suspended members would not be able to attend the special address of the Honorable President Srimati Draupadi Murmu to both the Houses of Parliament assembled together under Article 87 of the Constitution of India for the first time in the new building of the Parliament, the committee presented the report to me for a decision on the recommendation of the committee. After taking inputs from Leader of the House and Leader of the Opposition, and having considered the entire situation in conspectus, I invoked the authority vested in me under Rules 202 and 266 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in the Council of States, Rajya Sabha, to revoke the suspension of those 11 members, enabling them to attend the special address by the Honorable President to be held on 31st January 2024. As per practice, the report is also being presented to the House. Friends, let me put it on record. In taking this decision, which was difficult because the House had indicated that they will continue to remain under suspension till the House has the benefit of consideration of the report of the Committee of Privileges. I must put on record wise counsel put to me by Leader of the House and Leader of the Opposition. And keeping that in view, I took this decision, and I'm sure the House will appreciate the sentiment behind it. Report of the Committee of Privileges, Dr. Anil Jain.
के नियम का घोर उल्लंघन एवं सभा पीठ के प्राधिकार का पूर्ण अपमान करते हुए सभा में नारेबाजी करने एवं तख्तियां प्रदर्शित करने और फलस्वरूप सभा की कार्यवाही में बाधा उत्पन्न करने के कारण 11 सदस्यों के विरुद्ध विशेषाधिकार उल्लंघन के मामले में विशेषाधिकार समिति का हिंदी व अंग्रेजी में 76वां प्रतिवेदन प्रस्तुत करता हूं।
The House stands adjourned to meet half an hour after the presentation of the interim budget 2024-25 in the Loksabha tomorrow.
What is GDP? GDP, or Gross Domestic Product, is total market value of all final goods and services produced in the country over a period of time, usually 1 year. Increase in GDP or GDP growth rate indicates the overall health of the economy.
India has become the fifth largest economy in last 8 years. India's second quarter growth is the highest in the world. The manufacturing sector registered its highest growth of 13.9% in Q2 of financial year 2024. Unemployment rate has declined to 10% from 17.8% in 2017-18. India has emerged as the fastest growing major economy in the world and is harboring plans to become the third largest economy in the world by 2030. India's growth and prospects on several aspects, ranging from local manufacturing and export push, have outshined the dull developments of the world. Hello and welcome, viewers. You're watching this special presentation of Sunset TV on Interim Budget 2024 and the Indian economy. The interim budget is expected to be another elixir for further cementing the economic progress of Bharat. India is expected to report higher than previously expected economic growth projections, potentially around 7% for the fiscal year 2023-24. Last month, the RBI adjusted its growth projection for the current fiscal year to 7%, up from the initial estimate of 6.5%. As we head towards the interim budget, there are increased debates and discussions on what the government should do to further bolster growth in the ensuing fiscal. One aspect that keeps coming up for consideration is whether the centre should further cut the excise duty on petrol and diesel. Any such cut will certainly provide a fillip to consumption in the economy and will also help control inflation. But the government has to take into account whether they have the fiscal space to absorb a cut in fuel tax, as over 1.5 lakh crore UPA era oil bonds need to be repaid.
If you have a financial difficulty that you have to confront, then you float bonds and someone else will have to pay them back. So those oil bonds floated between the years 2004 and 14, that I think was the tenure of that was the period. I think they were close to 1,41,000 crores. What we did during the current Prime Minister's period, sir, we took a number of steps to do it very differently. We diversified the sources of supply. The Honorable Prime Minister, who is very sensitive to the requirements of the most vulnerable sections of society, reduced the central excise duty on petrol and diesel on 2 occasions, sir.
The sharp hike in the government's capital expenditure from 4.1 lakh crore in financial year 2021 to budgeted 10 lakh crore in financial year 24 has supported growth and has also initiated the crowding in of private sector investment. The government has implemented a number of supply-side policies in recent years to boost manufacturing. As a result of this, India has emerged as one of the most favored destinations for investments from both within and outside. The government has enacted a variety of strategies to endorse the manufacturing sector. India today is the most open economies of the world. India is now first amongst the world's most attractive investment destinations. First amongst world's fastest growing economies. First among 100 countries on Growth, Innovation and Leadership Index. Data speaks louder than words. FDI inflows in India stood at $45.15 billion in 2014-15 and have since consecutively reached record FDI levels. The year 2021-22 recorded the highest ever FDI at $83.6 billion. The FDI has come from 101 countries and invested across 31 UTs and states and 57 sectors in the country. On the back of economic reforms and ease of doing business in recent years, India is on track to attract $100 billion in FDI. There was a significant increase of 76% in FDI in manufacturing sector in financial year 2021-22. Why? Well, the answer is the production-linked incentive scheme. Without doubt, PLI schemes have enhanced the competitiveness of the manufacturing sector and are helping leverage the untapped potential of industries to fulfill the vision of an Atmanirbhar Bharat. The PLI schemes as envisioned by Prime Minister Narendra Modi with the objective of making India Atmanirbhar is built on the foundation of 14 sectors with an incentive outlay of 1.97 lakh crore to strengthen the production capabilities and help create global champions. It is also expected that interim budget will focus on welfare schemes for 5 key sections of the society: women, poor, youth, farmers and tribals. As the BJP-led National Democratic Alliance, led by Prime Minister Modi, aims a third term in office on the back of Prime Minister Modi's promise of inclusive growth. Budgetary allocation for Indian Railways is expected to hit record levels in 2024-25 as the government gears up to support a major makeover of the national transporter with additional modern and faster trains and improved safety features. Gross budgetary support swelled to 2.4 lakh crore in 2023-24, when total capital allocation for the railways stood at 2.6 trillion rupees. Recognizing the need to lay a solid infrastructure foundation in order to achieve a $40 trillion economy by 2047, the Government of India has increased infrastructure spending to 3.3% of GDP. Capital expenditure budgeted for the current fiscal year accounts for nearly 22% of total expenditure, making it the highest in the last 15 years. In the realm of India's financial management, the terms interim budget and full year budget hold significant weight, each playing a distinctive role in the nation's financial landscape. These two budgets serve distinct purposes and timelines, creating to specific needs within India's economic cycle. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will present the budget on 1st of February 2024. It will be an interim budget as the elections for Loksabha are due early next year. An interim budget is a temporary financial plan presented by the government when general elections are looming or a new government is set to take office. It serves as a provisional arrangement to meet the expenditure needs of the government for a short period until the new government can formulate and present a full-fledged budget. An interim budget refrains from introducing policy changes or reforms that require long-term planning or financial commitments. The focus of the government remains on maintaining stability and continuity in governance. An interim budget typically allocates funds for essential government operations, ongoing schemes, and urgent requirements. Interim budget is presented for a vote on account, seeking approval for necessary expenditures until a new government can present a comprehensive budget. The interim budget will be tabled in Parliament, and the Finance Minister is expected to address various financial indicators, including inflation, fiscal deficit, capital expenditure, revenue receipts, and more during the speech. Understanding these terms is vital for gaining insights into the government's expenditure plans for the next financial year. So what is Union Budget? According to Article 112 of the Constitution of India, the Union Budget of a year, also referred to as Annual Financial Statement, is a statement of the estimated receipts and expenditures of the government for that particular year. What is Revenue Budget? The approximate amount required for growth, development, and infrastructure of the country is called Revenue Budget. The Revenue Budget includes the government's revenue receipts and expenditures. There are two kinds of revenue receipts: tax and non-tax revenue. Revenue expenditure is the expenditure incurred on day-to-day functioning of the government and on various services offered to citizens. If revenue expenditure exceeds revenue receipts, the government incurs a revenue deficit. What is capital budget? Well, this includes capital receipts and payments of the government. Loans from the public, foreign governments, and RBI form a major part of government's capital receipts. Capital expenditure is the expenditure on development of machinery, equipment, building, health facilities, education, etc. A fiscal deficit is incurred when government's total expenditure exceeds its total revenue. What is the Economic Survey? The Economic Survey is a flagship document of Finance Ministry. It is presented in both houses of Parliament a day before the budget is presented. The Economic Survey provides detailed information about Indian economy over the past financial year. What is inflation? Inflation, usually expressed in percentages, is a quantitative measure of the rate at which products and services in an economy are increased over a certain period of time. When the price for a certain basket of commodities increases due to internal or external economic factors, it can be termed as rise in inflation. What is fiscal policy? Fiscal policy outlines the estimated taxation and government spending and serves as a key instrument to monitor the country's economic position. The fiscal policy denotes adjustments in spending levels and tax rates, also refers to the use of government spending and tax policies to influence economic conditions. What is fiscal deficit? The difference between government's total expenditure and its total revenues, excluding money generated from borrowings, is known as fiscal deficit. What is capital expenditure? This refers to funds used by the government, in this case, to acquire, maintain, or upgrade physical assets such as property, new infrastructural projects, or buying new equipment. Capital expenditure is classified as a long-term expenditure and usually includes expenses incurred by the government towards asset building, including development and infrastructural projects. What is current account deficit? The current account deficit is a measurement of country's trade where the volume of import goods and services exceeds the value of exports. It is a component of the country's balance of payments. What is direct tax? Direct taxes include income tax and corporate tax. India is one of the fastest growing economies of the world and is poised to continue on this path.